I want to begin with Norman. There are certain news that is coming out, very important for us to note as well as yourself. We see the very first UFC cage fight happening at the White House's southern lawn yesterday as President Donald Trump is celebrating his 80th birthday in an event titled UFC Freedom 250. I believe it joins into the 4th of July celebrations as well. Also, I want to get the latest updates regarding the deal between US and Iran, your perspectives, your views, especially as the IDF and the Defense Ministry spokesperson in Israel, Israel Katz, has stated that the IDF soldiers are still placed in strategic positions in southern Lebanon. A very good morning to you, Norman. I want to get some updates from you.
Good morning from Washington. Today, we are focusing on the proposed deal between Iran and the United States. The news services are reporting that both Iran and the United States has agreed to the terms of this memorandum of understanding. However, the actual interpretation, I would say, of the terms have not been released to the public yet, but some of them are heading towards the opening of the strait. The president, on his 80th birthday yesterday, while he was at this UFC event in the South Lawn of the Washington White House, announced that the Strait of Hormuz will be open immediately, and the fighting will cease, and there will be, I guess, peace and harmony back to the world. However, he had to redact that later in his conversation that the terms is still being looked at and will be signed on Friday in Geneva, Switzerland. And at that time, the strait will reopen. However, we're still waiting for the exact timing of that from the Iranian officials. Included in this conversation was the subject of Lebanon. Lebanon was included in this. The president mentioned this in his comments that U.S. will stop its aggression fighting with in Lebanon with Hezbollah. However, Israel has a contradiction to that. Actually, several minutes ago, I received information that the Israeli government will not remove its troops and its aggression with Iran. This will cause a problem with the process that they're talking about now over the next 60 days of stopping this war, opening the strait, and the issue of weapons, nuclear enrichment, and the ability for Iran to retain the use of the ballistic missiles, which is a negative, a loss, a problem for Israel. So my viewpoint on this is that, as we mentioned yesterday, is that Israel is the disruptor. It appears that every time we get to this close moment, Israel is consistently throwing a problem into the matter. So now we're looking at a situation where now we're going from United States and Iran in conflict. We have a conflict with the Israeli government, not just the prime minister, but the Israeli government and their ambition, which is different from what the United States is stating. So this memorandum of understanding is a great move towards, and the markets have crude oil markets have dropped $4, and everybody's looking towards the future. Over the next 60-day period, these technical issues have to be addressed and brought out. But the most technical issue is how do we deal with Israel? Now it appears that Israel is saying we do not agree to this. We are not in line with it. This doesn't include us, and we will continue on with our mission against Hezbollah. So now we'll see exactly what is really going on, why the United States was even involved in this, and we will see how this situation stabilized or destabilized the Middle East. So hold on, the hot mess is getting hotter.
Norman Floyd Barnes, gold prices have surged while oil prices fell sharply late Sunday and early Monday after the agreement was announced to end the conflict. Also, in a turn of events, the United Arab Emirates feels that unfreezing of Iran's assets, billions of dollars belonging to the Iranian administration and the nation. At the end of the day, the deal may be reached, but the takeaways for Iran are huge. They are winning on multiple fronts as we see their frozen assets become unfrozen, and that is due to arriving at a deal. So I want to ask Norman Floyd Barnes, this recent change in gold prices and of course fuel prices, it should have a positive reinforcement before the midterm elections. Just a very short comment from you, Norman.
Actually, my response to that question is more of a global one. The price of gold. We look at gold as the standard for the economy as we move forward. As you know, currently the world is working on the petrodollar, the U.S. dollar. That is not backed by gold. Gold is something being utilized by the global South, is being utilized by other countries in their process of creating a new currency, a new way of doing business. So the gold is now becoming the item of desire for countries and individuals involved in finance. Gold is tangible. The dollars is flexible. It can go here, we can go there, we can go anywhere with the dollar. The dollar could be like we call monopoly money. It could have the value, no value tomorrow. It's not back, it's not guaranteed by anything except itself. So gold is something that is as we move forward into this new shift, the gold standard is what is desired, and most economies will now look towards that as the optional goal and the key to the future. So things are changing. This conflict has exposed a lot of weaknesses in how we do business day to day against the world. Hopefully, during the G7 and other parts, people are learning lessons from this engagement between the United States and the rest of the world. So let's be hopeful. Let's see that we see a brighter day moving forward, and
Right.
things will get to a point where we do not go back, revert to a situation. We move forward with a better and a more prosperous way that will help mankind.
I want to add on regarding the Group of Seven summit is going to be hosted by France this year as the G7 presidency. It will, of course, include various actors, and its focus is to demonstrate that multilateralism is the essential to address today's international challenges. It will be graced by U.S. President Donald Trump taking away from the White House, coming into France, Evian of France to join this summit. However, there is very important news coming from Geneva. Thousands of protesters have gathered in the Switzerland capital, Geneva, in the Group of Seven summit to protest various issues. They are also led by the group called the No G7 Coalition, comprised of more than 60 associations and groups, including Palestinian right activism advocates, feminist activists, and environmentalists. I want to just ask Norman Floyd Barnes, a Group of Seven, they all have expectations for the war to end, for economy to once again become stable so that countries may flourish once more, or at least that is what we believe. I want to ask from you, how do you see this, as there is those who are standing up to the Group of Seven protesting in various parts of that region. I want to get a know-how from you. How do you see this? Donald Trump will be in attendance. Norman.
Yes, in answering that question, I want to reflect back to the NATO summit. You remember NATO?
Please.
Actually, not NATO, the United Nations summit. Uh, this is a steering committee, a steering group of seven. And now at the time when they had the last one, it was talk about economic coordination. Now we're looking at economic survival. There's global issues that far reaches the hand of the G7. It's involved other global players. Several of them have been invited to participate in this meeting. However, but the main thing I get out of this G7 is relevance. Can it be relevant? Does it have the ability? Is it necessary? Can it deal with the issues of the world as we move forward? Now we're dealing with global crisis. We're dealing with how do we move from one country to another? How do we deal with conflicting economies? Other things that is far more impactful than what the G7 can produce. So the issue is rather is that are they relevant, or are we going to have another situation like we're looking at with the United Nations being a symbolic group, whereas they have no effect on the day-to-day affairs of the world, what's going on and how they can do it, and what, more importantly, what impact do they have, or just they are a group of whatever. So that is the biggest issue right now. What effect is G7 is going to have, and what are the topics going to be? We know the topics, but what effect can the G7 have on the global impact of what's going on? Particularly right now, when we're going through this situation in the Middle East. We have this situation going on in Europe with Ukraine, and we have the situation with the world economy. So let's see how effective this be, or it'll be just another meeting with a bunch of people drinking tea and enjoying coffee.
The UK, we've seen the Belfast riots happening, much of it under control. However, the main situation was regarding the video that was made viral on social media. And this very next news stems from the United Kingdom. Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of UK, has said that under 16 and those who are under 16 minors shall be banned from using social media. According to BBC, and quoting the Prime Minister, government is always about choices, and it is clear to me that a full ban is the right choice, according to Keir Starmer at a news conference towards Sky News. This is not the only nation that has imposed such a law. Last December, we've seen Anthony Albanese's government in Australia imposing very similar laws, controlling this information for young minds who are still yet to be developed into a proper young adult phase. I want to ask Norman Floyd Barnes, in this moving and changing geopolitical order, a social media ban may be a very elusive tool to understand, if not protect those who are still young, still do not have the capacity to process a lot of heinousness that we see from the north to the south and east and west. We see continuously these issues coming to limelight through social media. Your comments shall be helpful as the UK prepares for this social media ban. Norman.
Yes, once again, we see a society, in this case, the UK, trying to control its people. In other words, a term they used there, created there, peasants, the people under them. Well, in one of the things I think our elected officials need to understand, people are not stupid. They are evolving while you continue with your current traditional ways, you are in essence dissolving yourself. Basically, people will not accept just because the government wants to control you. You have to understand you can only control someone or something that wants to be controlled. So we have to look at the issue of instead of stopping our youth, our people, the information, receiving information, we have to get to the issue of the problem. The problem is the information itself. Who's generating the information? And instead of stopping the people from using it, stop the people, stop the corporations, stop the profit makers from actually producing it. But that takes courage. And that's apparently, as we see, that is lacking in today's society, courage on addressing the real issue instead of putting a patch or a ban or a temporary solution and feel good that I've done something, but actually you have done nothing. You have basically put a patch on top of a problem that is manifesting to the point of a hurricane or tsunami or an avalanche. You're trying to stop, as I use my famous word, you're trying to stop a hurricane by sticking a fork up in the air, catching the wind. You're only creating frustration and basically a situation where the public is now evaluating your relevance. Do we need you? Are you the right person? Are you representing our interests? Or who interests, more importantly, who interests are you representing? And now we're seeing with Belfast, we're seeing that there's protests in Switzerland. We're seeing this protest is going to be in France. We're seeing the midterms coming up. There's going to be a shift. We have a new way of looking at life and how to deal with that. And our elected officials have to understand they have to change and change their way they're thinking and up their game, or they're going to be irrelevant.